We should start a jazz band.
But like not a real jazz band, like an online jazz band.
Ooh.
Where the only actual instruments are like the emojis of the instruments.
Yes.
Probably.
We're gonna make a batch of cookies and tell you guys about our Broadway show that we came up with.
Last night at 4 a.m.
Yes. I came up with the idea around 3 and I was laughing so hard I couldn't talk.
And then we spent an hour talking about it. And wow, did it go far. There's an official Twitter for it already.
Yes.
We'll link that below.
So, last night at about 3 o'clock, we had been talking about Hamilton. I came up with this idea, and I was laughing so hard I had to write it down. I call it Ham, and it's a 3-hour show of just a ham sitting on stage.
With orchestra music, like, it's orchestra music, but not really. It's just every single orchestra instrument, plus some that aren't even used in the show.
Like didgeridoos
warming
and
up.
kazoos and stuff.
A bassoon.
Yeah,
Bagpipes.
bagpipes. And they're all just warming up individually, and that's like the background music, and then the ham is just there. And then at the intermission, the only crew member who works on the show, the ham manager, brings in 3 more hams and sets them on the stage.
But he doesn't really set them, he like walks from the side and just like chucks them on stage.
Yeah. After the intermission, it just goes back to like, you know, like people are still warming up on their instruments, and then the hams are just sitting there, and then 5 minutes before the show ends, the orchestra that was originally there gets pushed out, and then we bring in a brand new orchestra that has had no chance to warm up their instruments
or tune them
at all, and we set them down and we just tell them to play as loud as they can. So they do, and they all just play as loud as they can for about 30 seconds, and then when that's over, 3 out of the 4 hams explode, and no one knows which ones are going to.
Thus the tagline, it's a surprise for everyone, even the cast.
And then while this is also happening, we have people backstage behind the curtains just very quietly chanting ham, 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 ham. And at first it's so quiet you can't even hear it, like it's just one person whispering it, and then it gradually gets louder. You're only really able to start hearing it until like an hour and a half into the show.
And even then it's just like a really, really quiet
And actually it has the largest cast ever on any Broadway show.
Hundreds upon hundreds of people,
Yes.
including some famous people you might know.
Yeah, but none of them are ever shown. And then after the hams blow up, there's a kazoo solo where he plays the funeral march, except he doesn't know what the funeral march sounds like. And then there's a triangle player also in the background just chiming in at random intervals. For the curtain call, they just leave the one ham that didn't explode on stage, and then they drop 3 more hams from like the rafters onto the stage. No one applauds, and then none of the people that were standing behind come out for the curtain call. They just
and the playbill is literally just a picture of ham with ham in all lowercase letters written underneath it in Comic Sans.
And it's just blank pages, no ads, no information about the show. And then you get to the very back and it's like, it just says ham.
And then like, it's a one night only thing.
Yeah,
though.
it's a one night only show.
No phones allowed. You get kicked out if you're using your phone.
Yeah.
And everybody that sees it or was in it is sworn to secrecy.
So they can't tell you anything about it. So unless you were there, you don't know what happened. Then after it's over, no one applauds and everyone goes home.
That's about it.
Yeah.